Guys, welcome back to our second lesson on the exciting food chains unit. Today we're learning about herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Today you're going to be able to discover 3 types of consumers and classify them by the types of consumer that they are. You'll also be able to document and list examples of each, as well as sort different types of consumers. So living things get their food from other living things. We can classify or sort them based on how they get their food. All living things are either producers, consumers, or decomposers. Let's look at this first column. We've got an aloe vera plant, a tree, and daffodils. Are they producers, consumers, or decomposers? Take a second, drum roll. They are producers. What does that mean? It means they make their own food. Plants are producers and make their own food. How about a fish, bunny, and cheetah? How did they get their food? Are they producers, consumers, or decomposers? They are consumers. That means they have to interact or get their energy by eating other living things, either animals or plants. Finally, we learned about decomposers last class. So this side, mushrooms, fungus, and bacteria, those are decomposers. They break down dead things and clean up our environment. They get their energy from dead things. So remember that plants make their own food by using energy from the sun. They're producers. These guys, flies, mushrooms, worms, beetles, are decomposers. They break down dead things for food. It cleans the environment, and that's how they get their energy. Dead things, decomposers. But animals can't get their own food. They can't make their own food. They have to eat plants or other animals for energy. So animals are consumers. Remember, we saw that the bunny eats plants, the lion eats meat. They eat other living things as food. So, what do animals eat? There are 3 types of consumers: herbivores, omnivores, or carnivores. Herbivores are consumers that eat only plants. See the giraffe eating a tree, the rabbit eating a plant, and the deer eating there. In Latin, herba means a small plant or herb, and vora, from vorare, to eat or devour. So herbivore, plant, eater, that's what it means. If you speak Spanish, the word hierba means herb or plant. So that might help you remember it as well. Herbivore means plant eater. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so let's circle the animals that are herbivores. Take a second and think about it. Which ones here look like herbivores? If you said the cow and the bunny, then you are correct. Now you might look at this and think a few other things eat plants, but maybe they eat plants and something else. The cow and rabbit only eat plants for energy, so they are herbivores. Some consumers eat other animals. Consumers that eat only meat are called carnivores. If you speak Spanish, then you know that carne means meat. That might help you remember it. Meat eater. In Latin, caro, meaning meat or flesh, and vorare, meaning to eat. So meat eater is literally what the word carnivore means. We've got a tiger here, an eagle eating a fish, and a hyena. You might notice that this guy has got sharp teeth that help him eat the meat. So now let's circle the animals that we think are carnivores. Take a second, Look at the animals and think which animals only eat meat. Okay, if you said that the dog, jackal, coyote maybe, and the alligator only eat meat, then you are correct. Now you might say some of these other ones also eat meat, but they eat meat and something else. So they're not called carnivores, they're called something different. So the jackal, dog thing, coyote, and the alligator are carnivores. They eat only meat. Okay, some consumers eat both plants and other animals. These consumers are omnivores. In Latin, omnis, omnia, means all or everything, and vorare, again, means to eat. So the word omnivore literally means eats all eater, everything eater, okay? Here are some examples. A turtle is an omnivore because it eats both insects, bugs, like this dragonfly, and berries. A hen, or chicken, is a consumer, is an omnivore because it eats both worms, meat, and plants, like grass. So let's take a look at these pictures. Which ones do you think are omnivores? Take a second. If you said that you think the human, oh, whoops, hold on. The bird, which eats worms and berries. The bear, which eats fish, berries, honey. And the fox, which eats birds, berries, is an omnivore, then you're correct. These things eat both meat and plants to get their energy. That's why they're called omnivores, or everything eater, omnivore. So, final question. Are we producers, consumers, or decomposers? Take a second. What are we? Producers, consumers, or decomposers? Do we make our own food? No, we're not plants. Do we eat dead? Do we go and eat dead things on the side of the road? No, that's gross. We'll get sick. Do we eat other living things like plants and animals to get our energy? Yes, we are consumers. What kind of consumers are we? Are we herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores? If you said omnivores, we eat everything, we eat both plants and animals, then you are correct. Some people do only eat plants. They go out of their way to be a herbivore. Those people are called vegans, okay? I think there's another name for it too. Vegetarian is another word. But most people eat both meat and plants, and they're called omnivores. Okay, so now your job is to complete this sort. Tell me, do these pictures describe herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores? Move the picture that describes the correct type of consumer. All right. When you're done with that, there's a fun little game here where you can move the thing right next to the animal and it will tell you if it's a herbivore, carnivore, or omnivore. So give that a try after you finish your activity of sorting the pictures. Okay, go ahead and do that now.